Varanasi, a city more than 3000 years old. Varanasi, also known as Benares or Kashi, is perhaps the only place in the world where the early mornings awaken you not only physically but also spiritually. Each day starts much before the sunrise with a morning Ganga Aarti, where Vedic scholars perform rituals on the ghat offering prayers to Mother Ganga. Aarti is a devotional ritual that uses fire as an offering. It's usually made in the form of a lit lamp. This is the Ganga Aarti being performed at Dashashwamedh Ghat. It is performed by a single Vedic scholar. Taking a dip in the holy water of Ganga is believed to absolve one of all sins. Simultaneously with the Ganga Aarti being performed at Dashashwamedh Ghat, another Ganga Aarti is also performed at Assi Ghat. Here, 7 Vedic scholars participate in the Aarti, chanting mantras from the Vedas. The whole environment is charged with positive energy. You in the audience will feel the divine energy entering your body. It takes you far away from the materialistic world, and your heart is filled with an intangible divinity. The Aarti ends exactly at sunrise, with the scholars offering water to the rising sun with hearts filled with purity. In Varanasi, Ganga flows from south to north. It is called Uttarvahini Ganga. While speaking about Varanasi, the first thing which comes to the mind are the 84 stepped embankments called ghats, lined up in the shape of a crescent along the western bank of Ganga. The experience of Subah-e-Banaras is not complete without a boat ride on the Ganga. We hired a rowboat at Dashashwamedh Ghat and sailed upstream to Assi Ghat. The heavenly light of dawn shimmering on the holy water of Ganga and the golden glow of the sun shining on the ghats create a surreal environment. Dashashwamedh Ghat is the most important and centrally located among all the ghats. Going by the legend, Lord Brahma performed Ashwamedh Yagya 10 times at this place. Adjacent to Dashashwamedh Ghat is Ahilya Bai Ghat. Ahilya Bai Ghat has been named in the honor of the warrior Queen Ahilya Bai Holkar of Indore. The palace you see was built in 1812 by Sridhara Narayan Munshi, who was the minister of the Nagpur estate. So the ghat was named Munshi Ghat. In 1915, the king of Darbhanga, Bihar, acquired the palace, and since then the ghat is also known as Darbhanga Ghat. Presently the palace serves as a heritage hotel. Rana Mahal Ghat. This ghat was built by Maharana of Udaipur in 1670. Harishchandra Ghat. This ghat is exclusively used for cremating the dead. It is believed that the person cremated here attains moksha. This cremation ghat is second in importance after the Manikarnika Ghat for cremation purposes. According to mythology, King Harishchandra worked in this cremation ground and hence the name. While most of the ghats are abuzz with life, the burning pyres at Manikarnika Ghat and Harishchandra Ghat stand mute testimony to death. The ghats of Varanasi bring life and death together. Chet Singh Ghat. The Chet Singh Ghat has a great historical importance. This ghat witnessed a fierce battle between the troops of Warren Hastings and Chet Singh in 1781. Bachraj Ghat. This ghat is the only ghat belonging to the Jain cult in Varanasi, so it is often called Jain Ghat. It must be remembered that as many as 4 out of 24 Tirthankaras were born in Varanasi. The Jain Ghat or Bachraj Ghat has 3 Jain temples. One of them is a very ancient temple of Tirthankara Suparshvanath. Tulsi Ghat. This ghat is named after Goswami Tulsidas. Goswami Tulsidas lived here while he wrote the Ramcharitmanas. We left the boat at Assi Ghat and moved on to explore the city. We first visited the beautiful campus of Banaras Hindu University, which is close to Assi Ghat. There is a beautiful Vishwanath temple in the campus. Photography is strictly prohibited in most of the temples in Varanasi. Vishwanath Mandir, although it is a Lord Shiva temple, it consists of 9 temples within one temple. The Shiva temple is in the ground floor and the Lakshmi Narayan and Durga temples are on the first floor. Other temples within Sri Vishwanath Mandir are Nataraj, Mata Parvati, Lord Ganesha, Panchamukhi Mahadev, Lord Hanuman, Saraswati and Nandi. Meandering through the narrow lanes of the city, we visited the famous temples. This is the gate for entry to Kashi Vishwanath temple. Photography is not allowed beyond this point. You can see the massive construction activity here. The ambitious corridor project connecting the temple with the bank of Ganga is under construction. This is the gate of Sankat Mochan Mandir, a temple dedicated to Lord Hanuman. It was established by Goswami Tulsidas, the author of Ramcharitmanas. It is said that at this very spot, Tulsidas had the darshan, that is, the vision of Lord Hanuman. This beautiful red temple is Sri Durga Mandir. It was constructed in 18th century by Rani Bhabani of Nator, now in Bangladesh. The temple is dedicated to goddess Durga. It is believed that the existing icon of the goddess was not made by any human being, but it appeared on its own in the temple. Next to the temple is a lake called Durga Kund. In the evening, we decided to visit the ghats again. This is the main road leading to the Dashashwamedh Ghat. The bank of Ganga looks completely different in the evening. The buildings and temples all along the river are beautifully illuminated by colored lights. This is Manikarnika Ghat, the holiest of all cremation grounds. It is believed that the soul of the dead attains moksha and hence breaks the cycle of rebirth when cremated here. Sri Ramakrishna Paramhansadev reportedly went into samadhi while watching cremation here at the Manikarnika Ghat. He actually saw Lord Shiva with body covered with ash and tawny matted hair, serenely approaching each funeral pyre and breathing the Tarak mantra, the mantra of liberation, into the ears of the corpses. This is the last ritual of the day. An elaborate Ganga Aarti is performed at the Dashashwamedh Ghat. All activities at the ghats come to an end after the Ganga Aarti.